Hey, welcome back to another episode of Menopause Moguls with yours truly, Dr. Joyelle. So, Queen, in a world that is constantly demanding you to show up strong, brilliant, responsible, helping everybody else, and always having to have your shit together, what would it look like for once you allowed yourself to be still? What would that look like? Not lazy, but intentionally still. I want to talk about stillness. I want to talk to every Black woman in midlife who's been carrying a lifetime of expectations, many of them other people's expectations, on her back, on her shoulders, in her bones. I want to talk to you because your next level, your wellness, your clarity in midlife, your power in this season of your life is not in doing more. It's in being still. But how? Right? I'm sure at least one of you are asking that. And how I know that is because I did a talk last year. It was a women's retreat, and the talk, I called the talk Unapologetically Well, a Self-Care Revolution. And I talked a lot about stillness and how stillness is your superpower. And after that talk, there was more than one woman who came up to me, and this is a retreat actually for Black women. And, many of them came up to me after the talk and asked, I don't even know how to be still. And I felt that because I'm like, girl, I know I used to be there. I used to be there, like being still, like what, who got time for that? Right. So before I tell you how, just want to share a little bit about, my practice and how I got to where I am today. I actually took a few minutes to be still before I recorded this podcast, just to ground myself. The kids had their second day of 2-hour delay. I'm like, and they had a whole week off last year because of this whole snow/ice storm. I'm like, these kids need to go back to school, like now. So I came home, got my cup of tea, and was just still. Took a few minutes to be still. But right now it's easy for me because I practice it daily. But when I first started, child, I was like, every time I planned to okay, I'm going to sit with myself and be still, all these thoughts would pop in my head. Are you going to wash them dishes? You going to do that load of laundry that's been sitting in front of the washing machine for about a couple days? You want to post that social media post that's been sitting in your queue? You want to do that? You want to review this article on menopause so you can talk to the people, share what you learned? So many thoughts just rolling around in my head. I'm like, you know what? Forget it. Let me go do this laundry. Let me go wash these dishes. Let me go read this article real quick. And then maybe I can come back to this whole stillness thing, right? It felt impossible. It was uncomfortable. And I had to learn that it's necessary. Like stillness is necessary. And I would have to say, and it took me time, right? This wasn't like I decided one day I'm gonna be still and I was still and I got the wisdom that I was seeking and all the things. No, this took a process, right? I remember when I decided to start my coaching business after I resigned from clinical practice. And, I jumped right into it. Like I was on the grind. I'm like, I got to get this business together. I got to get clients. I got to do all the things. I got the clients, coached them. They did amazing. at the same time, I'm the cheer mom, going traveling for cheer competitions. And then I actually got sick with long COVID, and this was 2022, right? And it really just took me out. It took me out, and the lesson was you wasn't being still enough. Because I was practicing stillness before that, but clearly it wasn't enough. That was one of the lessons for me, right? So I had to basically give myself permission to do nothing for 5 minutes and let that be okay. Right? I also had to realize, okay, why can't I do this? Like, this should be, I should be able to just sit down, right? Just sit down, sit still in silence. And that should be a luxury, right? With 3 kids, I should be like running to do that. And I realized the beliefs that came up as I was trying to be still of, oh, girl, why can't you go do what you're supposed to be doing? Why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? Oh, if you don't do this now, you'll miss an opportunity. Oh, if you don't do this, you will, not get what you really want, as far as whether it's a business, whether it's a speaking opportunity, or whatever that thing is. Fear of missing out, FOMO, right? Like, if you don't get on the grind and do this and do that and do this, you won't be able to get it. So I had to then evaluate those beliefs and realize that wasn't true. Right? And I think the other thing, obviously, was just being conditioned to just keep going, keep grinding, keep pushing through. Right? So I essentially had to unlearn all of that and give myself permission to, like I said, do nothing. Stillness feels foreign, not because we are incapable, but because we were just never taught that it was sacred, that stillness is sacred, and it is really a measure of our success. It is strategy. It is our superpower. And because, especially as Black women, we've been conditioned to keep going and keep pushing through, we can struggle with being still, right? And our bodies, especially in these midlife streets, and perimenopause and menopause, are demanding rest. But at the same time, our minds is like, girl, you can't rest. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to keep going. You got to keep pushing. So being able to give yourself permission to turn all of those thoughts off, right? Or really just redirect them into a belief that serves you well, right? In regards to essentially your wellness, right? Because if we avoid stillness, if we avoid being still, that's the health consequence of that is exhaustion. Like we tired, y'all. Is this so, again, as we are carrying so much mentally, emotionally, and we're trying to keep it all together, taking care of everybody, right? But that becomes, the consequence is exhaustion, and not being still also doesn't allow us the opportunity to really sit with our bodies and feel our bodies and get to know our bodies in this season of life, because our bodies are changing. Perimenopause, right? All the things that are happening, we need to create the opportunity for us to sit with our bodies and really feel what we're feeling and figure out, okay, what do I need? What do I want right now, right? And rest is always at the top of the list. We all need rest. And your body is demanding it, but you're ignoring it because you've been conditioned to ignore it, essentially, because you need to push through and you keep going so you can do all the things, take care of everybody else, prove your worth, and do all that. Like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So when I created new beliefs about being still and really leaned into that permission of, girl, you can be still. It's okay. That's when I was able to really get clearer about my purpose and who I am supposed to be serving as my body is changing mentally, physically, emotionally. I got so much clearer about who I'm here to serve and what my purpose is, and realized that my purpose has evolved over these last few years, and being open to that. So the importance of stillness, especially in these midlife streets, it really unlocks your purpose, right? It unlocks, it makes space for clarity, and you again can ask yourself those questions of, what do I truly want right now? What do I need? Right? It gives you, the stillness can give you the courage to pivot, to leave that job that's not serving you, any longer, leave that relationship that's no longer serving you. As we are, if we, like I said, we've been conditioned to, keep going and do all the things, and your purpose is trying to catch up, but it can't, because you're doing all the things. We're constantly running, right? So again, for me, how I was able to be still, like I said in the beginning, it's a practice. I had to practice it. I started with, scheduling just a couple minutes, just to sit in silence. Obviously after the children were gone, or very early in the morning before the children got up. Sit in silence. You can actually do that right now. If you're not driving, put down whatever you're doing. If you're driving, just get to your destination and take just 1 or 2 minutes and just sit and breathe. Now, are you doing that and you're like, child, I got too much stuff to do. My mind won't let me. That's okay. That's okay. Because after scheduling, I also had to give myself grace in the process, because it's not easy. It definitely wasn't easy for me, and I know it's not easy for a lot of you in the beginning, but it gets easier as you continue to practice it, right? So when you're scheduling, and it doesn't have to be even just sitting straight up and just sitting in silence. You can be laying down. You can just be stretching. If you want to just stretch your body, that is stillness. Like just stretching your body, feeling your body. That is a form of stillness too. Like it, whatever it looks like for you, right? You schedule it in your day, whether it's right, early in the morning. Can you take a break in the afternoon, or is it right before you go to bed? And even throughout the day, you can just take a minute at your desk. Put your phone on, do not disturb, and sit. Unplug and sit for 1 minute and just breathe. And when your mind is going all over the place, give yourself grace. That's okay. Redirect your thoughts to your breath. As you are breathing in and breathing out, redirect your thoughts to that breath. And whatever thoughts that were coming in your head, just say, not right now. Not right now. I'm sitting with myself. And I know that sounds silly, right? Like it sounds kind of silly, but I think it works if you allow yourself to. I think it also takes some vulnerability, right? You just to sit there and just be with yourself, right? And so I think you also, as you're breathing, you can say to yourself, I am safe being still. I am safe. It is okay. It is okay to be still. So that is your assignment, ladies. Choose a time a moment, whatever it takes, and schedule the time for you to be still. And again, an opportunity for you to connect, connect to your, to really connect to your divine identity, right? As you give yourself that space to just to be still, take nice long deep breaths and really feel what you feel. And there definitely can be downloads that be coming through, which is also okay. There's another thing that I used to do is, when a lot of thoughts would come in my head, I would actually go write them down. Like, let me write this out. Or even before I decided to be still, I just do like a brain dump, like write all the thoughts that are, all the things, whether it's a to-do list or thoughts that is popping in my head. Let me write all this stuff down now before I go and be still, so it won't be as loud when I go when I go and sit and try to just be still with myself. Let me write these thoughts down first on this piece of paper or on my journal, and then go and sit and be still with myself. But like I said, I promise you that stillness is your superpower. It is strategy. It is really your your key to truly being well. Like, your wellness depends on it, right? Because again, like I said, when we avoid sitting with ourselves and giving ourselves the space to do that, we become extremely exhausted and really don't get to do the things we really want to do or being called to do, because again, we're pushing through and running and doing all the things. So you really have to give yourself permission to, like I said, to do nothing, and tell yourself that it is okay to do nothing for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And like I said, you can start in small increments, give yourself 1 to 2 minutes, and then increase it to 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever time. But start off small, right? And just work your way up to, and you'll get to a point where you feel like, okay, I think I'm good with 15 minutes or 20 minutes or even 30 minutes or an hour, whatever it is, y'all. You figure it out for yourself. Like, what's the best amount of time for you? And just practice it. And as you practice it over and over and over again, you realize you are more grounded, right? You are more focused, and you again can get those divine downloads and really be able to do the things that you have been assigned to do, that you've been called to do, and unlock the purpose and the nudge that you've been called to do more, but you just don't know what that is, because you're just, again, running all over the place and doing all the things that like I said, we've been conditioned to do. So I know it's difficult. I know it's something that, again, it's a process, because we have to unlearn it. We really have to unlearn being the strong one, the fixer, the person who does all the things all the time. And we have to unlearn that. And that, again, starting with being still with yourself and really figuring out, getting to know yourself, right, in this season of your life, because again, your body is changing, your mind is changing, your purpose is, everything's changing. So giving yourself that time to be still, to learn all that and get to know your body in this season, get to know, again, your identity shifts and the next version of yourself, getting to know her. Stillness is where it's at. So, all right. So I hope that helps. I expect some feedback from your assignment. Like I said, choose and schedule some time for you to be still with yourself. And let me know how it goes. And like I said, give yourself some grace when it does not go well the first whatever times you do it. Like I said, it takes practice. It's a process, and that's okay. So, all right. So that's what I have for you all today. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. My website, drjoyo.com. Follow me on Instagram. Send me a DM. And like I said, I really would like to know your feedback as far as after you do this, giving yourself permission to do this. But I think y'all can do it. If I can do it, y'all can do it. Okay? All right. As always, sending love and light to you all. And I'll talk to y'all next time. All right. Bye.